From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, February 27th, 2017. Silver is trading at $18.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,257 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.8 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,173. Antiwar.com reports a confusing flurry of information surrounding proposed informal talks with North Korea has ended with the talks being canceled after a decision by the Trump administration to block North Korean participants from entering the United States for the talks. Exactly what happened is still not clear, as the organizer of the talks, the National Committee on American Foreign Policy, was told by the State Department on Friday morning that the talks had been approved and that the visas would be issued, only for them to hear a few hours later that someone overruled state on the matter and blocked the visas. Though the talks were only ever meant to feature former U.S. officials meeting with North Korean delegates, the talks would have been a relatively rare case of the two nations even sort of talking, as even such informal talks have not been held in 5 years. Though the State Department was initially seen as somewhat reticent to allow the talks, it's not clear why they decided to approve and later reverse them, and there is considerable speculation that it is in some way related to the assassination of Kim Jong-nam in Malaysia. Planning for such talks in March was likely asking for trouble at any rate, as North Korea and the U.S. have a long history of seeing their mutual tensions rise in the first quarter of the year, continuing up until the bulk of North Korea's military has to go to the farms to help with planting season. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court will hear oral arguments on Monday on whether a North Carolina law banning registered sex offenders from accessing social media sites, including Facebook, violates the First Amendment. In 2010, Lester Packingham Jr. was convicted of violating a North Carolina law that makes it a crime for a registered sex offender to access a commercial social networking website open to those under the age of 18. Packingham was designated a sex offender in 2002 when he pled guilty at the age of 21 to having consensual sex with a 13-year-old girl he said he was dating. He received a suspended sentence and was required to register as a sex offender, a designation that lasts 30 years. Packingham has had no further sexual offenses after that conviction. When a traffic ticket was dismissed, he posted about it on Facebook. A Durham police officer looking on Facebook found the post by Packingham. Packingham sought to have the charges dismissed, arguing that the 2008 law infringes on the freedom of speech guaranteed by the First Amendment, but he was convicted and received a suspended sentence. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Joseph Wapner, the former real-life judge who presided over the People's Court on reality television with a presence that made him one of the best-known legal figures in the United States, died on Sunday at the age of 97. Wapner's son, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Fred Wapner, told CNN his father died at his home in Los Angeles of natural causes. A grandson, Gabriel Wapner, confirmed the death to the Washington Post, which said Wapner had suffered several strokes in recent years. From 1981 through 1993, Wapner served as an arbiter on the People's Court, resolving disputes that were usually trivial, with both parties in the litigation agreeing to abide by his ruling. Wapner handled 2 cases on each half-hour show, ruling with a commanding demeanor and basing decisions on his 3 decades as a lawyer and judge. He was stiff but sometimes showed a dry wit. The show made Wapner an unlikely judicial superstar and pop culture touchstone, and its catchphrase, "Don't take the law into your own hands, you take them to court." The People's Court worked its way into daily conversation. In a 1989 survey by the Washington Post, 54% of respondents were familiar with Wapner, but only 9% could identify William Rehnquist as the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.